Floods submerging businesses in Narok town, sweeping vehicles off the roads, highways being cut off, literally splitting off the region. Miles away in Murang'a, it was the case of landslides following heavy rainfall. In Nairobi, crazy traffic snarl-ups clogged city roads when it heavily pours.
Ingine saa mpaka ona ni saa 5. Bado kazi injafunguliwa huko. Ukifika huko utakuwa umekuwa late, hata kama ni kazi utakuwa umeshachelewa. It's horrible.
Environmentalists are linking floods and mudslides menace to deforestation.
Areas that are forested are normally, when it showers heavily, you find that as the rainfall falls on the trees, the velocity is reduced, and you actually reduce any erosion that would have taken place. I think we also need to associate this with our poor drainage systems. Either they are clogged or they are not sufficient to carry the amount of water that we are getting on the surface. So I think we need to emphasize that it's good to have good drainage systems to accommodate the amount of water that's coming down.
In simple terms, this is how a single tree actually helps reduce the effects of flooding. First, some rainwater stays on the leaves and evaporates into the atmosphere. Second, its leaves reduce the impact of raindrops on the soil, which causes less soil erosion. Third, its roots absorb water from the soil, making the soil drier so it can absorb more rainwater. And finally, the roots of the tree hold the soil in place, reducing the movement of sediment, which can reduce the capacity of the river downstream from breaking its banks.
So basically, in areas that are deforested, you find that you wash off the topsoils when it rains, like I've said, and you cause infertility.
Experts warn that soil erosion increases immensely in the first 5 years of logging.
Forests are the sources of moisture that form clouds through evapotranspiration. So in the absence of forests, you find that you are not injecting any moisture to the upper levels for clouds to form. In essence, you are causing some degree of aridity, or you affect the rainfall patterns in certain areas because of deforestation. In climate change, we know that I think you hear about mitigation. What basically they are saying is that we need to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that go to the atmosphere, and the forests are the ones that absorb whatever we are emitting in terms of carbon dioxide and other gases. So in the absence of forests, you find that whatever you are emitting to the upper levels simply remains there as greenhouse gases.
The degradation of the largest remaining indigenous forest, the Mau, has led to erratic weather patterns and flash floods whose worst effects are often felt in Narok town.
We know if we continue duplicating the efforts of the task forces, then we shall go for life immemorial. We shall always continue to make recommendations which are not implemented. The recommendation made by the Prime Minister Task Force on the Mau should be preserved and should be copied and should be adapted so that we are assured that the Mau forest is safe and it is kept for tranquility and for posterity.
The irony is that the country is largely ill-prepared to harvest rainwater, and the deluge from the heavy rains end up in the ocean.
What basically has been stipulated by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the institution that is responsible for climate change issues, is that with the climate change, the extremes in terms of heavy rainfall events and so on and so forth are expected to become more intense and more frequent. So even within certain rainfall seasons, like for us, March, April, May, or even off-season, you'll find you get certain days when you have very intense rainfall, over 50 millimeters, for example, in 24 hours. And that's what causes a lot of flooding.
The status quo remains as the campaign to increase the forest cover to 10% by 2022 begins. According to the National Forest Policy, the current forest cover in the country stands at 6%, way below the constitutional requirement of 10%. Irene Muchuma, Channel 1 in the county of Nairobi.